How can some men be skinny all over and look 17 months pregnant? Skinny bodies, but that gut though. Like really? What is this? Is it actually impacted fecal matter or? Different people have different fat distributions. But to give you more detail, there are two categories of fat: subcutaneous and visceral. Subcutaneous fat is the layer of fat under your skin. Visceral is the fat in your abdomen surrounding your organs. Genetics and other factors play into where your body stores your fat the most. Some bodies focus heavily on visceral fat over subcutaneous, which explains the body type you're talking about. The reverse: camels like us store beer in them instead of fat. Men tend to accumulate fat in their stomach area. It's not fecal matter. Quit looking at my gut. Beer belly? Blame it all on the alcohol. Well, it's one reason for distended bellies. I think it's called visceral fat. It's very unhealthy. My grandpa looked like this all my life. Skinny aside from a big round gut. Then one day and all of a sudden my dad looked that way. I'm in my 30s now and I'm just waiting for my turn to come. It's called a primordial pouch and it protects the males during fights. I feel attacked. No idea, but this is my problem. Genetics. Genetics determines where your body stores fat. Also, I think men might be naturally more likely to store fat in their midsection. My eyes are up here, ladies. I quit smoking. Seriously. I was about 140.58 when I quit. Now I am 180, most in just my belly. I call it the Grover body. Beer. I see you've been sheltered in life. Welcome to the beer belly. Men, unlike women, have primary deposition of fat in their bellies. Also, beer. What once used to be my dad's double whopper belly now looks like a classic crispy. He cut down massively on his beer intake and started eating healthy and going for his evening walks. Despite his before and after, he has always been a lean dude. During his younger days, MF had 8 packs. It's all that martial arts. Football and bicycling 22 kilometers every day. I've seen the pics, but don't underestimate the lack of muscle otherwise. Especially if that man is a dad. They have that dad power. Food sensitivities can cause gut distension. Testosterone causes men to store fat differently to women. It's typically stored on the gut and around the organs, whereas estrogen causes women to store more fat on the hips, thighs. But I am a trans guy and I've been on T for around 2 years now. Fat redistribution was the wildest change I experienced. I slowly went from dump truck ass and hips to just dump truck stomach, cold sweat smile. Eventually realized I needed to hit the gym biceps. I'm skinny fat. Or internally fat. I weigh a lot, 150 pounds. I'm 5'9" and appear average size. I never drink alcohol. Older brother was similar but had more of a belly. He was a big beer drinker. However, I have high cholesterol and high blood pressure. So that's where I get the skinny fat thing from. Liver failure. Like actual fat, or is it more like bloating? If actual fat, that's just where it lands, I guess. It's bloating. It could be poor gut health, a food intolerance, etc. Never work out, sit all day on the couch. Eat lots of carbs and drink lots of beer. Beer, lager, meat, and not enough veg. Alcohol. And worse is an enlarged liver. It's called being skinny fat. Better question is, why are they more concerned with balding? I always thought that was insane. Walk around looking ready to give birth, worried about balding. I'm guessing they're not into dad bods. We dodged a bullet there, fellas. Skinny fat. Beer. What I find interesting is that some men in this situation have moobs and some are totally flat chested. And yet the two men have the same size belly. No, it's not shit, but fat grows on different places for different people. Women get it on their ass, hips, boobs. Men mostly gut or chest. It can be a digestive problem, such as celiac, or any other condition that impact in their ability to properly digest their food. Bloating is a common symptom, as is being skinny from not eating enough, uncomfortable digestion, toilet troubles, or from malnutrition. Never had that until I started drinking alcohol regularly. Stopped drinking basically entirely maybe a year and a half ago, and the progress in losing that fat is slow. We call it a beer belly. Beer. Alcohol. I would say you look like this if the cause of your fatness is alcohol rather than food source. A mirror and a ton of alcohol. It's the cheeseburger's Randy Bobandy. A lot of people these days are struggling with alcohol. They could be some of it. Alcoholism. My husband had skinny legs and arms but a huge pregnancy belly. It was hard AF too. He was an alcoholic. The people I see like this are often alcoholics that eat and drink a ton of carbs. They call it a beer guy for a reason. As others have said, there are a lot of other factors that go into fat distribution. So it's hard to give a definitive answer for every individual that has that apple with legs shape. Booze and being over 30. Alcoholism can do that. When the organs swell, the belly gets round and hard, usually accompanied by red face. It's optimized placement for storage. Mass at center. Doesn't impede balance hardly at all and doesn't get in the way of range of motion of limbs. It's nearly perfect. People carry weight differently based on their gender. I am on HRT and fat redistribution is a huge factor. Beer. Hernia. Probably looks skinny cause no muscles, but accumulated fat in the stomach. Beer. It can also be caused by a lack of muscle tone in the abdominal wall. So even in the absence of fat, the gut will collapse and stick out. Fat and below average muscle. Flip the two and you have a guy with a model physique, low body fat and high muscularity. Beer. Lol. Genetically, we're predisposed to hold fat in certain areas of our bodies. Some people put weight on around the middle but can't put it on elsewhere. Men tend to be like than women. There tends to be more diversity among women as to where they store hips, thighs. It's not about needing a cleanse. Pot-bellied beanpole. It's called skinny fat. And genetics. Some men gain weight on their waist easily. Also could be excessive foods that give you a beer belly. Beer belly. Not only do men accumulate belly area fat, but sadly we die younger from heart attacks and cancer due to additional fat that builds up around our organs, exasperating the beer belly look. Women tend to spread it around. How can some women be upside down triangles with skinny ankles, medium hips with a flat ass and a huge torso with a neck eating their head? I forget what it's called, but it's fat around their organs, not outside their skeletal muscle, and it's really unhealthy. Carbo and beer. Hopefully not, he's really pregnant. Beer, my friend. That be alcohol, bruh. No exercise. Not enough calories to get big but drink enough for a gut. The worst shape of them all. Visceral fat. Skinny guy here. Any weight I put on goes immediately to my stomach. If anyone tells me to eat more and put on more weight, I tell them I'm built like Jeremy Clarkson. So that's why I don't try and put on weight.